Okay, so in the last session we have seen the JDBC connection, all how to create, load the driver. We have seen how to load and loading the driver, and we have seen the establishing connection. We created the table, inserted, and also we have selected the data. Now, at last I said we will create one bank application, right? So for that, let us create some tables and insert data through the JDBC. So first, let us create one bank user table. Okay, I'll show the table structure. I will create some tables and I will also give you assignment. You also create some tables and insert data through JDBC only, because through SQL you know to insert. Try to run that from the Java application. So after the by the holidays, if we complete that, then when we go for servlet, it will be easy. We can write code connecting to that tables. So if you give same table name like what I suggested here, then all will be in a flow. If you give different names and all, again the project has to be changed. Again, complete project will have so many tables and so many files. In all files we have to change, means it will be confusion. So let us maintain same tables. For practice you do anything, but these tables you create mandatory. Okay. Okay, fine. Online students, I have shared the screen. Can you hear me? So when we created the statement yesterday, we have seen the statement in three ways, correct? So one is just we have created using the statement, and the second one, what is that we have seen? Prepared statement. Okay, so first with the connect, we have load the driver and established the connection, and then we are creating the statement, and then we are executing the query and processing the query, and then finally we are closing the connection. These are the steps we are following for creating or for establishing loading and all. What we have used, class dot for name, predefined one. And for after loading the driver, for establishing connection, we used what class? Connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection. We have used this. So this is what driver manager dot get connection. Here we are providing what? URL, username, and then password. See, this URL should be your database URL. Suppose it depends upon what database you are using, MySQL or Oracle. Everything will have different port number or the service name. Some port numbers will be like 1521 or 1522, like this it will be changing, and some port numbers will be like for Scott Tiger, if you are using Oracle 10G, that will be different again. Username password is fixed, Scott and Tiger. But for the latest versions, it will be username will be system or sysbase something, and the password will be what you install during the database. Those things you have to remember. Okay, for if you forget the password, it is difficult to fetch back in Oracle. You have to reinstall only. It is not able to find out. So now with the statement we created, inserted, and we also have selected. But how to do with prepared statement? So now we are going to see what? Prepared statement. Through the prepared statement, how we are going to insert. Prepared statement is used for pre-compiled SQL queries. For what? Pre-compiled SQL queries. Pre-compiled means this will be executed more than once. We can execute more than once. See, suppose if you are doing create table, you do same query multiple times, it will say table already existed and you cannot pass any values, it will be directly storing. But for the pre-compiled queries means I'll write the query like this. Insert into, okay, what is the table name? Suppose the table name is bank user, and here you will pass question mark. Suppose there are three columns, you will pass what? Three question marks. So now what will happen? You will enter them through the like run configuration through command line, or you can enter through keyboard like enter ID, enter name, like that you can ask, and you can read the data through buffered reader or through the scanner, your wish. So you can directly provide in the program in the place of question mark. This you can execute multiple times. Every time you execute, you give a new values. Okay, these are like pre-compiled queries. That is why we call them as pre-compiled queries. So prepared statement is used for that. Okay, so we have seen till connection. Then in the previous we created statement st is equal to con dot create statement. So if you are using statement, how we wrote? Statement st is equal to con dot create statement. This is like predefined, we created. For this, how we are going to create? We are writing like prepared statement pst or anything you can give is equal to con dot prepare statement. You will write like this. Prepared statement is equal to some pst, any name you can give, dot prepare statement. Now for this you will write the execute query. So pst dot execute, you will write update or whatever you want, you will provide, and here you will provide this query, insert into so and so, whatever you're writing you will provide here. Okay, so after this, how you are going to enter the values into the table? So how you are entering means you can put a message system.out.println, enter the values of id, name and all. When after entering, you can just read them through. Suppose you are reading id, then you can say int id is equal to through scanner object dot next int, like this you will be reading. Again enter name. When you say, if it is name, then you will use string name is equal to sc dot next or next line, you will provide like this. Okay, you will be reading data. After reading, you have to save to the table, right? So every question mark will point to column, first column, second column and third column. So for that, what we are going to do is pst dot, okay, set int. First column is what is the data type? If it is number, here we have to give set int of 1 comma id. 1 comma id means for the first question mark we are inserting the id. Okay, this is a local variable we created here, 1 comma id. In the same way, again pst dot second is name, so set string of 2 comma name, like this you will provide. Okay, we'll be adding, so it will add into the table. If you don't want to read that from the keyboard like this, you want to directly provide means, you can say 1 comma the id is 1, 2 comma name, you want to provide the name, you can provide the name here directly, like this. Either you can read from keyboard or you can assign directly. Okay, directly instead of question mark we gave values yesterday, that is through statement. But through prepared statement you can repeatedly execute and repeatedly insert different values from the keyboard. Understood? So this is next prepared statement. In the statement we have, when we want to create statement, we have statement, prepared statement and callable statement. We have already seen statement. Now we are seeing prepared statement. Okay. So all of you understood. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Now, so I'll just show you. Okay, see, these are the data types we are using when we are setting or when you want to get the values from SQL to the Java type. Character or varchar, you can give string. Number, you can give provide like boolean, byte, integer, get int. These are the methods we use for fetching the date and time, everything. So prepared statement. So you will create the object for the prepared statement and you will call. So these statements is used when you want to execute more than once, as we discussed. So for that same thing what I explained, it was there here. You can just go through that. So we can write like this: prepared statement is equal to the connection object dot prepare. So whatever you want you can use, not only inserting, updation, deletion, everything you will provide with the question mark. In that place you will either provide in the program or you will read from the keyboard. Once you are reading, you will set with the object. For first question mark will point to the first one, comma, value. Like that you can provide the value. Update and all, you will provide the values there. Okay, so finally after that you will say execute update. It will update all the values to the table. Okay, so that we will see. Now what we have to do is you have to create tables. So what is the first table you have to create for the bank application? So first we will create what table? Bank user. The bank user should have the column name, column type, and the data type you can provide as what I have given here. User ID, password, user type, and the status. User ID, data type number, password, and user type and status is varchar. So sorry, data types these are. And these are the size, like your number of 16, like that, you know, right? You have to create this table from the program. Yesterday we created already one table, so like that you can create. And after that you have to insert the data into this table, at least 5 rows or 6 rows or 10 rows, whatever it is. You insert some data into the table through Java program, not directly. I have already shown you the table creation. We have already seen that in the first class, like how we created. So we will register the driver. We have seen already, like creating, loading the driver, establishing connection, creating statement, and we created the table, bank user table. Okay, and with the same columns I have shown, and we created the table. Okay, now if I run this, it will say already existed, table already existed. So I'll show in the database, like DESC bank user, user ID, password, status, everything we have, user type and status. So select, I have already inserted from the example, select start from bank user. Okay, there is no data. Now let us insert. I think I have dropped the date, deleted the data. So how to add the data into the particular table? We can insert directly or through the prepared statement. So if you want to insert, you have to provide the values like this: insert into bank user values. Same thing we have done, one admin, like this, and we will fetch the data. If there is any exception with the bank name or anything, we'll get error. So this we entered. Again if I run, same data will be entered. I will enter 2. So it has entered. Now I will show in the database also. Insert I. So we got inserted into the table. This is the first table. I'll send that example with the table name and program also I'll send. Try to do the same thing. All tables which are required for this, I have already prepared a document. So these all tables you have to create for your JDBC completely. Okay. So we will do now. The first table anyway, yesterday we did same thing. So I have shown that. So this is a table for creation and insertion. Now let us see the next table here. Second table is what? User personal info. What is that? User personal info. Means in the bank user, we have just created bank user ID and what is the password. Just ante oka Gmail ID password laga. ID and password you have created. And you have created what is his status, user type. Is he admin or not? Normal customer. And the status of it. Now we are creating the info personal. Every person will have what? First name, last name, address, gender, date, like date of birth or account opening date, and also you can have city, pin code, all these details we will have. So we have to create a table. See, this much is required. If you have to develop a real time application, we need to create a table like that. So we have to create all this information. So first we have to create the table on this. On what? Creating personal info. This is the table name we have to create. Okay, so in the database, sorry, in the Eclipse, we will create it. So here, right click on the SRC, new class. So we will create the example here. The class name we are creating the info. So I will create. So we created. Example, now we have to create the table of user personal info. So everything will be common like class dot surname, these all you have to provide. In the examples that which I have shared you, I used the driver type 1. You can change the driver name, username, password, URL. That changes you have to do. Don't exactly give same name. Java.sql.star. So we will load the driver class dot for name and this is for create. So this is the driver we are using and so we same steps. So we have created, loaded the driver and established the connection. So next what we have to do, we have to create the table. So how to create the table? Using the statement object. While inserting, we will see the prepared statement. Statement st is equal to con dot create statement. Okay. Then st dot execute. Okay. We can provide here the table. Create table. Okay. What is the table name? User underscore personal underscore info. Okay, this is the table name. So we have to provide all the column names that are required there. So create table personal info, user ID, F name, and last name, and data type, email ID, gender, and we are giving the date of birth, address, all the columns we have provided, and the profession. So after this, we will give the, so we have closed with varchar, and here we can provide the double quotes and then semicolon. So this will create what? User info table. Suppose if it is not able to create, if there is some error, it will give you table not created, or if it table is already present, it will say table exist. So we can say class not found, or we can write one more catch block also for indicating table does not exist, already created or something. I have already created the table. So what it is telling, valid identifier. So while creating there was some error. So we created info table, and so it closed this. One more, is it correct? Anything is missing? The personal info, user ID, F name, L name, email ID, gender, date of birth, which is of type date, address, city, and pin code and profession. Same columns, right? Anything we missed? So we have to create with exactly same data type so that it will be easy for us for checking again. Okay, so now we created. So password, username and password, driver name. Since there are more columns, right? Anywhere if we miss anything, we will get error. Maybe because of already created is giving, okay, name already existed. So I will check with the table. I'll create one more just for showing you one. Okay, it is there already, it seems. I'll check with the database table. I was getting so many calls for that elections. Vote for this, vote for that. DSC. What is the table name? User underscore personal underscore info. Okay, so it is already created. So it is giving you that name already existed. Means I have executed previously once so that it got executed. So now like this we will create the data. So this is insert creation is fine. How to insert data into the table? So already some data is there. So I will just delete the data. First I'll show you. Select star from user underscore personal underscore info. So now we'll, okay, there is some data is there. Delete from user underscore personal underscore info. So like this we are creating. Okay, deleted data. There is no data now. Now let us insert data into this table. So right click, new class, insert personal. So into the personal table we are inserting. So with the main method. So again we will write the same class dot for name, and for registering and all we will write same. This is common. While you are inserting it will be difference. So we are loading driver and registering the driver. Here we have to write in the try catch block, or you can also provide in the throws declaration. Anything you have to do. So here we are registering the driver and establishing connection. So here what we have to use? We have to use prepared statement, because now we are inserting into the table. So for inserting into the table we have to take prepared statement. Okay, some PST or anything is equal to what we have to use, con dot prepare statement. So I have to import. I did not give star. So whatever we are writing, we have to write import SQL.DriverManager prepared statement and some exceptions. Con dot prepare statement. We are writing. So next what we have to do here, we have to write the query. So what we have to mention in the prepared statement, we have to write insert into table name, that user info table name, and then values you have to provide. So here what I'm writing, insert into, okay, what is the table name? One second. So insert into the table name user underscore personal underscore, what is the table name, user underscore info, right? Info. Okay, and then values. Here we have to provide the question mark. How many columns are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Totally we have to pass how many arguments? 10 arguments. So you have to provide here 10 question marks. Two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Passed. So like this we are creating the prepared statement, and after that we have to execute the query. So before that what we have to do, we have to insert from the keyboard. So if you want to insert from the keyboard, if you through the scanner, we have to create the scanner object. Scanner sc is equal to, what we have to do, new scanner of system dot in, we have to write, and then put the semicolon. This you have to import what package? Util package. Okay, so now here we have to ask system dot out dot. So enter user details. Suppose you want to enter the all the details. First you will ask enter user details. Here you have to mention, like first what you want to enter? ID. So you have to mention the ID and everything to be entered. So you will ask enter user ID. So for reading the ID, what is the data type? Int ID is equal to sc dot, what we have to write? Next int. And again same thing, enter user first name, F name. So for the F name, again what you have to take? One string F name is any variable name you have to take. You can take not exactly the table column name. You can take any name. Any issue? Okay, string F name means what we have to provide here? Sc dot next. So you will provide like this. And again system dot out dot println L name. So like this you have to provide all the details. String, what is the next one? L name is equal to sc dot next. See here we have two methods. One is next, and also we have next line. So there is a problem with next line method. What will happen? It will, when you see next line, after reading it will come to the next line and read that empty space. Again you have to use a method called skip. You might have seen in while you are learned scanner class, because to avoid that we are using next method. Otherwise you can use next line also, but that will come and read while reading string. Again it will create a problem. We have to use a skip method to avoid that line, empty line it will read. So for that we are using what method? Next. So since remaining all are what data type? String, varchar. So I'm using string only. While your date you are reading, you have to, while reading we can read it as a string, but when you are passing to the table, let us convert into date type and then pass to the table. Okay, that we will do. So same process will be repeated. So I'll just add that. So here we will read the same things. So same way, after entering the last name, what we have? Email, gender, date, address, city, pin, profession. Everything we are reading. Fine. So after reading, what we have to do now? We have to set it to the table. So whatever we are reading, what is the object we created for the prepared statement? PST. So here we are writing PST dot set int. What we have to write? Set int of 1 comma. What is the first one? ID. So again like that, PST dot set, what we have to write now? String. In the set string 2 comma, what is that? First name. Again we have to do the same thing. PST dot set string of 3 comma, what is the next one? Last name. PST dot set string of, what we have next one? User ID, F name, last name, and then email and gender. So next 4 comma, like this we will be adding all the columns. So whatever the columns we have, we are going to add all the columns, like 1 2 3 and all, we will add all till the date. Only while we are adding the date we will get the problem, otherwise it will be same. Same thing we are doing here, see. So whatever the object we are taking, so here that is PST we are given. So here we are taking 1 ID, 2 F name, 3, 4 email, just same thing, right? So for but date, what we are doing? Date D is equal to date dot value of DT. So DT we are reading as a date. So here see, when you are entering the date, DT is having what type? String type. So that string type we are converting into the date through the date class. So this is converting the date. So now what is having D? So set 6 of, so at the sixth column we are passing D. Before that we are just converting. And then seventh is what? Address, city, pin and profession. And finally we are saying one int I we can create just for knowing whether it is updated or not. We are saying execute update. So it will update. Now along with updating, I also wanted to fetch the data from table. And enti we want to view. So for that we are using create statement. So for this we need one statement object also. How we created prepared statement, we also have to create what? Statement. Statement st is equal to con dot create statement. So here Java statement. So because we also have to select, అంటే డేటాని కూడా వ్యూ చేయడానికి I'm creating st dot execute query. So now we need what? One more result set. So result set rs. So result set rs. is for used for what? For displaying the data. So this has a next method to fetch the value. So in this what we are writing? Execute query, select f name, date, all the details. నిన్న మనం yesterday we have seen, right? System.out.println, get name, get id. So there are so many columns, so I have just copy pasted the column names like this. So now let us see, there are some errors here. St dot create some. Okay, so I'll execute, and if there is some doubt we'll do it again. So enter user details, it is asking me to enter the data. So we are entering 1 id, f name, okay, first name, and last name, and email, and the gender, and the date. So date will be in one format where you have to follow, like 2011 some date, and then hyphen 03 some date format, and then address and city, and pin you can provide in combination, so it is, and then profession, like this you can provide. Okay, so there is some error. What is that? Missing comma. Example లోనా? Hmm, ఇక్కడ క్లోజ్ చేయలేదు కదా. City. Okay, it inserted and it is again fetching, means already there is some data, so it is providing that also. Now because I have did not commit right after the rollback, so it is showing previous data also. Now let us check in the table. So it entered, right? Executed. So like this we will enter, create table and insert data through the prepared statement. Since there are more columns, few I wrote and few I fetched from other, because I already executed once to show you. So this is how we insert the data to the prepare. Only the difference is we will provide through the question mark. Because of this, what happened? I can execute again and I can insert. Once I create it, I can execute. If I'm using insert query directly, I have to insert in the code. Here we can execute and we can insert the data. So that is the difference. And when we insert, I'm also fetching the data through the create statement and through the select query. So there are more columns, so it is very big. Okay, is it clear? So we are creating, inserting through the prepared statement. So these are the tables you have to create. So there is personal info and whatever table I wrote, it is there. And for the insertion also it is there, same whatever the query I wrote. But there I have given the table for entering in the run configurations. You have to make slight difference. I'll copy this example, wait, otherwise you will get confused. Okay, and then one more table, see what you have to create. In these holidays you create all these tables. What is this? Account info table. Along we have to create bank user, user personal info, and account info table. So after account info table, same you have to insert and create and insert the data into the table. And next table is bank user transaction table. This is one more table you have to create. So driver names and all, I have given different drivers. Whatever the driver you are using, use that driver. So create table, table name, whatever the table name we have created. The table name is what? Bank user transaction. You have to create and insert the data. So these are the tables you have to create. Okay, what? Bank user, user personal info, and for the bank info and for the transaction. Create 4 tables with the proper column names and insert data. Use the same table name and same column name. Don't change the column names and table names. For practice, you give anything, but create as it is what I have given here. While typing, you type by yourself. If you copy paste also, you'll get errors because you have to change the driver names and all. You have to make some modifications in the program. You have to change the driver name, URL name, username, and password. Okay, but create all these tables and insert data so that when we are doing servlet, we'll do in connection with these tables. Okay, in these holidays 4 days you have, right? Create all these things. Don't create from SQL. Create from Java program. Then only you will know, right, how it is connecting to the database and all. Because when we learn servlet, you will learn like combination of JDBC, HTML, and all servlets combination you will learn. That time it will be difficult. You are not practicing now. There we have to configure again servlet jar files, Tomcat server. So many configurations are required. So first practice this in this. You have holiday, practice that. Again on Wednesday, same 5 o'clock, I will take online session. Okay. In between, while you are practicing, if you have doubt, message me. I think I shared number. Did you save? Okay. If you have doubt, also call to office and take my number. They will give you. If you lost it, then you ask me. But don't tell ma'am errors I got. I did not practice at all. Don't tell me that reason. Okay. So, online students, did you understand through the prepared statement? Any doubts are there? Already left. I think everyone left to the hometown. Okay, so Saturday, Sunday is off. Again, Monday, Tuesday is also holiday because of elections. Everyone are going there. And from Wednesday to Friday, coming in the coming week, I will take online sessions. Okay. Again on 20th, those who are coming for classroom, you can come back to the classroom. Okay. So any doubts you can ask me. So all of you, once I'll ask in Telugu, అందరికి అర్థమైందా అండి ప్రిపేర్డ్ స్టేట్మెంట్ మీద ఎలా ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తాం అనేది. సో ఎవరికైనా ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్లో ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను, లేదా నాకు మెసేజ్ ఇవ్వండి. సో నేను మీకు రిప్లై ఇచ్చి సాల్వ్ చేస్తాను వైల్ ఇన్స్టాలింగ్. సో ఓజేడిబిసి జార్తో ఏదైనా ఒక టేబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేశారా ఎక్లిప్స్లో? డిడ్ ఎనీ వన్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ఎస్టర్డే సెషన్ ఆన్లైన్ స్టూడెంట్స్? Okay, fine. Again, we'll meet on Wednesday online session at 5 o'clock. Okay, thanks for joining.